Did you know? Pepsi Man on the original PlayStation wasn't Pepsi Man's first appearance in a video game. The character had a guest appearance in the Japanese Sega Saturn version of Sega's Fighting Vipers. Unlocking Pepsi Man requires the player to fight against a CPU opponent without pressing any inputs. Pepsi Man will then tag in and fight the player, and beating him will add him to the player select screen. Pepsi Man was included thanks to a deal between Pepsi and Sega, which also added several Pepsi ads throughout the game. Along with Pepsi Man, these ads were removed from the game's international release. Although Pepsi Man's appearance in Fighting Vipers is relatively unknown, there's an even more obscure Pepsi Man game. Between the release of Fighting Vipers and Pepsi Man on the PS1, Sigma Enterprises released a Pepsi Man Arcade game. The title was a simple rock-paper-scissors gambling game, and released exclusively in Japan in 1997. Although Pepsi Man was created for the Japanese market, the character was designed by a Canadian comic book artist. The character was designed in the mid-90s by Travis Charest, who also contributed to comics in the expanded Star Wars universe. The Pepsi Man ads eventually led to the creation of Pepsi Woman, who only seems to deliver Diet Pepsi drinks to women. In the Pepsi Man commercials, Pepsi Man runs as fast as he can to deliver soda to thirsty people in need, and after delivering the Pepsi, he often injures himself in a slapstick manner. It's believed these traits inspired the PlayStation game's design, as it's a runner game with comical hit animations. Throughout the game, the player is shown real-life cutscenes of a man drinking Pepsi. The actor in these scenes is Mike Butters, who would later land a recurring role in the Saw movies as the character Paul. According to the game's 3D modeler, Kotaro Uchikoshi, the real-world cutscenes were a symptom of the game's small budget. This proved to be a wise decision on behalf of the game's developer Kid, as Pepsi Man reportedly sold poorly. Despite the subpar sales, however, the game did have a chance of being localized in America. According to a 1999 GameSpot article, a notable US publisher was trying to bring the game to the USA. The game ultimately stayed in Japan, which is peculiar seeing as the game is entirely voiced in English. This usually makes video games easier to bring to the West, which suggests that the game's lack of localization was possibly due to licensing issues. In an interview for the Untold History of Japanese Game Developers, Uchikoshi also mentioned some questionable working conditions at Kid. He and a few other developers were stationed at a desk nicknamed the Edge of the Cliff. The name was to remind the group that they were disposable and could be pushed off the team and replaced easily at any time. Although the PlayStation game is rather short, it has a fair amount of unused content such as unused assets and early versions of levels. One of the most noteworthy files is an unused audio clip from the start of a level. The audio is of a cheerleader explaining that she and her team are exhausted and need Pepsi Man to bring them soda to perk the girls up. Several development tools can also be accessed with Action Replay and GameShark codes. The Cutting Room Floor co-admin Devin found a functional level editor within the game's data. The editor allows players to select objects and place them throughout a stage, and levels can even be saved to a memory card. Another tool that can be accessed is a debug menu. This menu gives access to various test features such as a sound test, a texture mapping test, a motion test, an object viewer, an object editor, and the ability to start from any level in the game. One scene from the PlayStation game is directly lifted from a Pepsi Man commercial. In the scene, Pepsi Man is chased by what seems to be a Coca-Cola branded 18-wheeler through San Francisco. Because the game released in 1999, some believe this level directly inspired a scene in Sonic Adventure 2. 2 years after Pepsi Man's release, Sonic Adventure 2 has Sonic being chased by an 18-wheeler through a San Francisco-inspired level. And if you'd like more facts about Sonic, check out the DidYouKnowGaming video on Sonic Boom. If you like this video, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more facts and trivia. And hey, while you're at it, why not go check out my video on Pepsi Man 2? You go enjoy it, bye!